Hi gang, it's Kathy Stevens here, Wellness Wednesday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we are doing what I call Muscle Matters 2.0. What does that mean? We did Muscle Matters last week, and there's so much to talk about when we talk about the muscular system and the importance of muscles that I couldn't get it all in one time and also get a workout in. So I kind of decided to split it in half. I hope that my little wellness tip in the beginning also gives some of you a little bit more time to get into the classroom. But in any case, let's move on to Muscle Matters 2.0. Last week, hey Betsy, if you happen to be here, you might have remembered that we talked about not only the importance of recruiting and keeping muscles strong, but how they function, sometimes stabilizing you and sometimes moving you, and how we can train specifically for those things on the 60 Up, and in all of our training programs. Today, what I want to talk about is muscle balance, especially the balance that affects posture and movement technique. Because what we also know about muscles and the whole body is there's a specificity to the way we train. In other words, the way you put pressure or stress on your body, it adapts to it. And that's very true in muscles. So we need to look at what we're doing, how we're working different muscles to keep them balanced. We know that when you're training your muscles, you can possibly overtrain one muscle group and undertrain another. Or because of certain things that you do during the day functionally, some muscles get really tight while others get loose. That is the counterbalance we want to focus on today. And that faulty muscle balance can sometimes lead to several things. Poor posture, as in the case of being tight here and loose there. Also, technical problems with certain movements because your muscles aren't free to fire the way they should. And then sometimes even chronic pain, because if certain muscles are always tense and tight, that's creating a cycle of pain. And we talked a little bit of that with the trigger point day that we did a few weeks ago. Hey everybody, welcome, welcome. So let's talk about this. There are a few common imbalances that are seen, and these go up and down the chain of the body. So from head to toe and from toe to head. And we call this Postural Cross Syndrome. Again, a fancy word, but I love to teach you these because that way you can connect to why we're doing what we're doing, not just following us, but understanding why we're doing it. So what are some key problems with Postural Cross Syndrome? Basically what it means is that when the muscle on the front is not in balance with the opposite muscle behind it that does the opposite action, it can pull your body alignment out of sync and again make movement not as ideal as it should be. So let's look at some key ones that we're going to think about and focus on today in our workout. The first one is up here. We know that our neck retractors, those are the ones that take your chin when it's jutting and pull it back so that your ear is plumb lined over your shoulder instead of having a forward head position. Those tend to be weak. Where the muscles behind the neck and in the upper back, the trapezius, they tend to be tight and tense. So look what happens. My chin comes forward and my shoulders go up. What does that look like? That looks like bad posture that we don't want, right? Let's move down the chain. As we come into that area of the upper or middle back and chest, we know that the pecs, the pectoralis muscle, and the front shoulders of the anterior deltoids, they tend to be shortened because why? We spend a lot of time with our hands in front of us, right? And the muscles between the shoulder blades, the mid-back, the trapezius, middle trapezius, and rhomboids, they tend to get laxed or weak. And again, that contributes to that forward hunched posture. Okay, moving on down. Abdominals. Well, we know we don't work them as hard as we used to, so these tend to be a little weak, especially as stabilizers, which is key. And then our lumbar or lower back, where their spinal erector muscles are, tends to get a little cramped or statically held in a very uncomfortable position, so you get a little backache once in a while, right? So weak, overly tight. Down to the hips. Hip flexors, those are those big muscles that move your leg forward every step that stay here when you're sitting. They get tight. They get a little bit too tight and rigid. And then the one that does the opposite, the gluteus, it gets a little weak. So we need to do things to counterbalance that complex, okay, that cross syndrome between the hip flexor and the glutes. And then last but not least, and we talk about this a lot because so many of you talk to us about problems with neuropathy and drop foot, is that way down here, let me back up, in the shin, this front band of muscles called the tibialis anterior posterior, it tends to get weak. They pick your toes up, and the calf, or the gastrocnemius soleus muscle complex, gets a little bit tight. You know what it feels like to have a tight calf. And especially for women that like to wear high heels, you're chronically keeping those calves like this, all right? So we've just gone through the 5 key things we're gonna focus on in today's workout. Not that you always only wanna work the weak muscle and stretch the tight muscle. You have to have general muscle balance and keep all muscle tissue healthy. But sometimes when there's a little spare time and you think, wow, what's a tight muscle on my chest? I might as well sit here and open this up and pull my shoulder blades down. And I'm just sitting here anyway watching TV. Why not open up this area that I know is chronically short? So sometimes just understanding these areas that we want to focus on, it allows you then to, during your downtime, put in a little extra work on those areas, whether it means to strengthen them, and we're going to use our tubes today, or whether it's to stretch or limber them, okay? So that's my discussion for today. I like to call today's workout 60 up balance with muscle balance. How's that? Is that working for you? Let's see who's here. I see Mona, thank you for being here. And Pat, as always, love to see you guys in the room. Betty, as I mentioned before, Craig, woohoo, let's see if I can give you a few new ones today. Craig is always letting us know when he likes what we do, and we do appreciate that because it helps us plan our next workout. All right, so what do you need for today's workout? As always, oh, by the way, happy Veterans Day to those of you that are veterans. Should have opened with that. But I do want to shout out to my dad, Andy Katnich, who is a veteran, and he served in World War II during in the Aleutian Islands as a Coast Guard. And he is 96 years young. And believe it or not, it's my dad who introduced me to 60 Up. He and my mom, Georgia, who is 90, they actually purchased one before I even knew about it. So there you go, 90 and 96, and they know more than their daughter. Oh, go figure. All right, so water, back to the workout. And then we are going to use the short bands in the side loops. Now, some of you that just say, I don't even know where my bands are, remember, it's always okay to do a movement with the band or without. You just mimic the same pattern. Just do the movement with your arm if you don't have the tube. But the tube will add more resistance. We talked last week about how important it is to try to hit volitional or voluntary fatigue in the targeted muscle group so that it grows, it stimulates, it gets stronger. The other thing we're going to use is a chair. Okay, I'm going to pull it out later. It'll be in the latter part of the class. And if you happen to have one with sturdy arms on it, I've got a real fun exercise that we'll do utilizing the sturdy arms of a chair. If you don't, it's all right. I'll show you how to adapt it. Towel in case you need it. I'm also going to use a pillow, hopefully, if I get to it. Sometimes I run out of time. But if you have a pillow, put it in place, and that's what we're going to be using today. So don't have to worry about any additional bands. I know I'll run out of time. We'll do that another day. All right, so let me push my chair out of the way. Let me hope that you guys are ready to roll. I'll get my background music on again. I keep it low. If it gets too loud, somebody give me a yoo-hoo, turn it down, okay? I don't think it will be, though. All right. Let's take a nice deep breath, standing nice and tall behind your 60 Up board. And all we're going to do is roll the shoulders up and down with the palms and the fingers resting on the top of your handles. Nice deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Let's just get our brain and our body ready. Warm it up. Keep rolling. 2 more. Now this time, I want you to come up onto your toes and squeeze your shoulder blades up by your ears and then drop and let it relax. Try that again. Rise up, squeeze your shoulder blades up towards your ears, drop and relax. That's a little heel drop, by the way. Here we go. We talked about that on Bone Density Day. Lift up high, drop and relax. 2 more. Rise up, squeeze it, and drop it. Last time. Here we go. Rise up, squeeze it, and drop it. All right, now from here, we're just gonna take and step side to side. Just get a little blood flow going. Step, tap, step, tap. You can keep it slower than I'm going. Up to you. Rock side. Now I want you to allow your body to rock a little bit with this. So notice how I'm kind of leaning and putting a little downward pressure on one handle than the other. And I can feel a little muscle engagement under my arm, through my back and side muscles. Warming them up. Good. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, back to the center march. Chest up, sternum up. Now watch my hands. Fingers down, fingers up. Light march. Heels barely coming up. Good. Just stretch those fingers. Down, up, march. Now heel presses. Press one heel down and lift the other knee forward as that heel comes up. Now lean into it a little bit and engage the muscles isometrically in your chest and shoulders. Keep your core long and strong. Watch me from the side. Core long and strong. My hips are back, my torso is forward. I'm really warming up those ankles, those feet. Spread your toes in your shoe box, just like you were spreading your fingers, and you can do it together. All the way out to the distal end of those muscles, those joints, those bones. Good. Increase the circulation. Breathe. All right, back to center. Walk it out. Chest up, chin up. Whew. All right, now just a light knee bend. So I'm just bending a little bit. I'm not doing a chair sit. I'm just loosening the knee joint a little bit. And as I bend and extend, I'm going to let my head look side to side. Chin center, chin side. Now this involves a little bit of coordination, balance, and if it makes you feel a little too dizzy this early, feel free not to twist the neck so far. Good. 2 more. Last one. Last side. All right. From here, let's take that foot now and put the heel up. Okay, heel up, and then toe back. Same leg. Heel up, toe back. Now what we're doing here is we're addressing the lower chain of balance. Can you see that? So as you pull your toe up, you're strengthening that shin. As you touch the toe back, you're stretching that hip flexor. That's the kind of counterbalance I'm talking about. Heel front, toe back. Now, at the same time, you're strengthening the muscles that surround this hip on this side. Good. So that's for those glute strengtheners. Just tippy toe that heel up and tippy toe that toe back. Let's do 2 more because I'm sure your left leg's getting tired. Last one. And then step the feet together and let's do that little heel lift again. Ease it out, loosen it up. Good. Allow a little sway at the hip, stretching into the glutes. Nice, excellent. All right, ready for the other side? Find your center balance, don't overgrip. Here we go. So again, it's heel up, toe back, heel up. And again, you're really trying to keep focused on keeping that board as centered as possible. You might be having to use a little bit more of your upper body to keep it that way. Keep your core strong, abdominals pulled in, creep that heel forward, point that toe back. Take a deep breath. Don't let this hip start to wobble too much or to lean out towards the right side. Try to keep the pelvis level. Nice. Toe back, feel that stretch in the hip flexor. Heel up, feel that strength in the shin. And for those of you that just can't quite manage the toe up position, just do what you can. Get as close as you can, even if it's a flatter foot. I'm okay with that, as long as you're still trying. Couple more. Last one. All right, and feet back together. All right, ease it out a little bit. Hip sway, stretch, stretch. Wobble the hips side to side. Hula the hips. Again, some of the things that tighten the lower back is doing a lot of stabilizing work. So you want to loosen it up, refresh, reset. Get the joints moving, lubricated, stretching, refreshing. Hulaing the other way. All right, now, put the feet about shoulder width apart. Come down into your hip hinge flat back. Now lift the spine up to the ceiling stretch and then press down again. Lift the spine up to the ceiling stretch, press down. Now as you're doing this, exhale as the spine goes up. Inhale as it comes down. Exhale, look from the side. So what I'm actually doing is an air crunch. So imagine you were on the floor, you'd be doing an abdominal crunch, tightening and hollowing, flattening and releasing. I'm stretching my lower back, can you feel that? And I'm contracting my abdominals. In particular, if you use a good focus, mind to muscle, pulling the abdominal wall upward as you stretch the back. Good. Don't forget to exhale as you come up. Inhale as you go down. Couple more. Up, up, up. Down. Last two. Last one. Bring it back to center. Unhinge. Walk the feet in. Ease it out again. Roll the shoulders in case you got a little too much tension in that upper back from that last move. All right, moving on to the board. We're going to start with lunges. Right step up. Right step. Left lift. Left down. Repeat. Right. Lunge lift. Step down. Again, what am I doing? Hip, glute, stretch hip flexor. Opposite action, right? So we're doing it on the right side every time, trying to keep that board as steady as possible. Step, squeeze the gluteus, drop, and tap. Step, lift, drop, and tap. Good. Can you feel your buttocks muscle working as you lift that leg to the rear? Don't lift too high because you don't want to arch the lower back. That creates a little too much low back tension, so just enough. I like to tell people to pretend there's a can behind them, a paint can, and they're pushing that paint can away with the back leg. Push it away. Lean forward slightly. Two more on this side. Last one, and we'll hold this last one up and balance. Why? Single leg balance is very good for the hip musculature. All those deeper stabilizers have to fire when you're on one leg. Can you feel it? So as we're here, if you want to challenge this, give me a hamstring curl. Curl in the back. Curl in the back. Now, if this gets too much, just put your toe down and hang out with the heel up on the back foot. But if you can continue on this one leg without losing balance, don't over grip. 4 more times. 4 and 3. Stay balanced. 2, chest up. And 1. Now pull that knee in and hold here. Very nice. Okay. Let the foot reach forward. Now, you're getting tired on that right leg, I know. But this next exercise is so great for the hip structure. If you can, bend that back knee and extend it as you keep that front leg in a forward position. Some people call this a pencil squat or one-legged squat. You really feel this around the knee and the hip. Great to balance those muscles of the quadriceps, the thigh, and the hip. Remember to put your toe down if you get tired and bear a little bit of the weight. But I like to call that a kickstand. So see how my front foot, the heel is up, the toe is down, so I'm still keeping the predominant weight on my right leg, but I've given myself a little bit of a retraction of the intensity or a deceleration of the intensity. 2 more. Last one. All right, step back off. And yes, take this leg and shake it out. Whew. Did you feel that hip engage? So when I say glutes are weak, remember you have a nice big side of your glute here, you got the back side, you got a deep underside. And those one-legged moves really get all those glute muscles working together in unison. All right. Whew. Okay, ready for the other side. Here we go. Left side. Lunge, lift, step, down. Put your weight on it, lift it. Be careful that you don't lift too high with that rear right leg. You can step right onto the middle of the board where that red line is. Good. Step, squeeze the glute or the buttocks, push that paint can away. Lean that torso forward. You're going to put a little more weight on those arm and shoulder muscles. Good. Pull the belly button up. Keep the neck long. Excellent. Squeeze. You know, a lot of times, less is more. So sometimes doing a few exercises, but really concentrating well on those few that we do is better than trying to get to too many in one class. So let's really work this move because it's such a great counterbalance pattern to those low body cross syndrome complexes. So that sounds so nerdy, doesn't it? So what we're working again is the hip, the abs, stretching the hip flexor, putting that toe down after the heel hits. So heel first, then toe. That works the tibialis anterior on that forward stepping leg. Whew. How you doing? 4 more. 3. Slow and steady. Wiggle your fingers on the way back so you don't overgrip. Here comes the last one and we stay up. Balance. Now balance on that one leg, and if you're comfortable, give me a curl with the back. What does that do? Well, first of all, it adds a little more stability challenge because you're moving, but it also further stretches the hip flexor and quadriceps. Good. Lean, but don't round. Keep the chest open. You should be feeling a little stretch across your chest in this position as well. Another cross syndrome plus. 4 more. 3, 2, last one. Bring that knee forward. Remember this one, the pencil squat? So the foot is forward of you. You're standing real tall. You're just going to bend that remaining, that other leg, the one that's on the board. And you're going to stay real tall, head over shoulders, chest up, abdominals held in. If this is too difficult, give me the kickstand. What was the kickstand? Toe down. Toe down, but you're still bearing the majority of your weight on that standing leg. Whew, don't forget to breathe. We're gonna get some water real soon. Nice. Lots of reps, but you stop when you need to. Because there's so many different levels of viewers, I usually do a few more reps than most people like and know that you're gonna hopefully stop when you feel that volitional fatigue set in. Once it gets too tiring, you start wobbling too much or your hip starts to jut out. So don't watch for that, don't let that happen. Let's do 4 more, head high, chin parallel to floor. 3, whoo, feel it in the hip. 2, and then last one, and yes, come on down and shake off that leg. Woo. Okay, so while you're shaking, let's walk around or after you're done shaking, let's come on back and get some water real quick before we move on. Staying well hydrated is so important for so many reasons. One day I'll do a wellness tip on that by itself. Okay, guys, so now we're gonna step up onto 2 and 2, bottom out, bottom out. And let's just rock a little bit because that somewhat releases tension and just helps increase the blood flow, get us back on top, get us moving a bit. So far, we've worked up the bottom chain really well. We did some nice work for the ankle balance and the hip, front back, counterbalance. Nice, take a deep breath. Let your body sway a little bit. We're gonna move on right now. And what I wanna work on is a little bit of core engagement. Now remember, the core involves all the muscles around your torso, front and back, like a girdle, right? We know the back side gets a little overly tense, the front side gets overly loose. So we're gonna address this with stabilizing exercises, okay? Rock side to side, and we'll go into our first one in a second. All right, now I want you to bottom out to the right and hold here. Now, lean your body towards the side and try to get a nice angle where you feel like these muscles have got a grip to hold you there. Then take that right arm and reach it out, okay? Now from here, we're just gonna rock and reach, rock and reach, and make that little bit of a shift through the torso. You're still safe, you're still hanging on, and if that feels a little too crazy for you, then keep both hands on, but still reach over or shift your torso to the side. Good. Pull in with your abdominals as you do this. Feel that core engagement. Rock and reach. Nice. Rock and reach. Breathe. 4 more. 3, 2, here comes the super challenger. Hold it out. Now, if you're able, give me a diagonal lift with the leg and elbow coming in and out. Again, if this isn't comfortable, hold on with both and just lift the knee. But if you can get that elbow coming in, you'll get a little more rotation. You'll use a little more oblique muscle, which is the side of that core girdle. Inhale, exhale. Keep that chest up. Let's do 4 more. Beautiful. 3, 2, last one, and bring it back side to side, rock it out. Ooh, did you feel a lot of just stabilizing going on in this center band of your body? Remember, we want to tighten this, but we want to keep this nice and loose and limber. The spinal erectors of the lower back area. All right, so we're going to address that right now. From here, I want you to lean in a little bit, bend your knees. I'm going to show you what I look like from the side, okay? I'm like this, okay? I'm just a little bit, I'm going to high squat, butt to the back. And then from here, we're just going to push our handles, hold on, push from the side, pelvic tilt, release. Pelvic tilt, release. And as you pelvic tilt, if you want to, you can add a little chest squeeze. Pull in with the arms as you tilt under with the hips. Let me show you again from the side. Keep doing this. So I'm pulling my tailbone under. This is an abdominal crunch from the low end, okay? So you're firing those abdominal muscles, and guess what? As you tilt, you should be feeling a nice little stretch in that lumbar area of the back. Keep going. If the movement causes you any discomfort at all, then minimize it. You don't have to tilt so far. 4 more. Breathe. 3. Don't hold your breath. It's real tempting on this. Last one. All right, and rock. So you should have felt a nice stretching sensation in the back, a nice gripping or shortening sensation in the front. Beautiful. Again, here we go. Let's loosen up and rock. Whew. Just put that pressure to the outside. Feel the strength of the ankle, the calf, the thigh, the hip. 4 more times. Here we go. 4 and 3 and 2. Now ground out on the left side. Remember this? Hold your body nice and strong. Reach out with the left arm and rock. In, reach. In, reach. Try to get that torso and pull it outward as you drive the belly inward or the navel in. Reach and core tighten. Just a slight lean. Lean. If that's too much for you, keep both hands on the handles and just lean the torso or jut it slightly to the side. 4, 3, 2, last one. Now here comes a super challenger. Keep your weight grounded on this left side and then in and out. Rotate, crunch, lift out. Now you can even open the chest up a little by letting that elbow go back to the goal post, hitting that upper cross syndrome of the chest and mid-back. Open the chest, tuck the abs. Open, tuck. And remember, if this is, again, just outside your comfort level, then take the arm out of it. You always want to be comfortable, because as soon as you start to feel like you're overdoing it and a little reckless, that's when you're not going to want to come back and join us. 4 more. And 3. And 2. And last one. All right, come back to the center. Woo, rock it out. A lot going on there. Balance, leg, abs. All right, let's come back into that sit back, semi-squat. Pushing with the pelvic tilt. Pull under, release. Under, release. Remember, knees are bent. Upper back doesn't move, only the lower back. Let me show you that, okay? I don't want to see the whole back bending. I only want the lower back. So try to keep that upper back pretty stable. I know it's hard to separate them, but try. You can push if you want a little with your palm, but not too much. Keep going. Oh boy. Contract, release. 4 more times. 4, 3, 2, 1. Rock it out. Okay, that was a lot for the core. So let's rock and roll. Let your body sway. Loosen up. Let's do that hula hoop again while you're on the board. This is really good for mobility in the hip and pelvic connection to the lumbar spine. Other direction. Were you a good hula hooper? It's all about the hips. Soft knees, chest up. Okay, guys, it's time to step down. So bottom out on one side, step off. Let me get yourself another drink of water. Whenever I step off, it's a perfect excuse for you to come around and get yourself a little more water. All right. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to be on the side position now. And here's where we're going to use the tubes if you happen to have them attached. We're going to step up and bottom out on the right. Both feet are up. And then I want you to go ahead and step back into a tandem stance. That's one foot in front of the other. Comfortable tandem. One that maybe can rock gently forward and back if you so desire. And the front leg is actually the one that's closest to the back side of your board. It's standing on that red stripe, just to get us all in position properly, okay? Now I want you to put your weight back down into the rear heel. I want you to grab that front handle if you happen to have handles and tubing on. I want you to grip down to where you already feel a little tension in that. See how I grip down? What did I mean? I didn't just hold the handle. I actually gripped down onto the tube so that I have greater resistance for this rowing action. Now the row, bent over row, which is what we're doing right now. The chest is up. Spine is in a diagonal forward, elbow is moving behind you, so you can work those large mid-back muscles that I just told you are a little weak in comparison to the pull from the front side, the chest. That's it. So come on now, let's pull with those lats. Now they tend to be a little stronger than the more deep or middle back muscles, so we're going to get to those in a second. 4 more, here we go. 4 and 3 and 2. Now I want you to hold it up with the elbow tucked and just rock. So keep an isometric squeeze, and on this isometric squeeze, I want you to pull that elbow, pinch it back. So really try to get the middle, the deep rhomboid, trapezius, middle muscles firing, shoulder blade back. Good, rock forward and back. Hold on to that tension. Keep your head high. 4 more times. And 3, and 2, and 1. Good job. Relax and shake that arm out a little bit. All right, now grab the handle if you were holding anything else. Lean in again, and this time go out with your arms so that you get the posterior deltoid, the back of the shoulder, and the mid-traps. Now it's not going to go too high because it is a shorter length tubing. Open. But that's okay, because in most cases, the best part of the work is in that first third of the movement. Up and down. Think about moving from your scapula. Lift out with the arm to the side. 4 more. Long neck. 3, 2, 1. All right, now put that arm in front of you. Rock and curl. Whew. Now, here's what I want you to do. If you can coordinate this and not feel like you're a turkey, we'll do this again for Thanksgiving. Let your chin go out, back, out, back, out, back, out, back, forward, in, forward, in, forward, in, forward. Why? We're trying to get the neck retractors working. Pull back, pull back. 4 more. 3, 2, and then stay in the back. Chin in. It's like somebody wanted to touch your nose and you said you're not touching it. Now just drop, lift through the legs. That back heel can be up. Just keep the retraction isometric and just give me a nice rear leaning lunge. Tighten that back butt muscle. Breathe. Couple more. Last 2. Last 1. All right. Go ahead and hook this up. Oh, you should have felt that back on that back hip pocket. Release to the front for me. Take a breath. Excellent, everybody. All right, now walk the feet in to the center. So we're going to do a little more hip action, and then we'll turn to the other side, and we'll repeat that same side series facing left. Not yet. So squat out, step in, squat out. I'm going from 1 to 3 on one side and then on the other side. And I'm sitting back into the bar stool position. So imagine there's a little bar stool behind you, and then you put the feet together. And you kind of bear that weight on the outer edge of the foot, the shin, and the thigh. And glute, the gluteus medius, the side muscle. We're going to add to this if you're comfortable with it, okay? Squat and pull together. Squat and pull together. Here we go. We're going to squat, lift and rock, squat, and pull together. Try it. Squat, lift, squat, and pull together. Now again, if the second part of that move is a little too much, don't add it. And as you're lifting, kind of go behind you a little bit and out, because that tubing might get in the way. But also, if you go slightly on the diagonal behind you, you're going to involve a lot more of the butt muscle, right? Side and rear, gluteus maximus. Squat, lift slightly back, squat, and close. Squat nice and slow. Wiggle your fingers every once in a while. Excellent. Squat, back. And again, it's the same idea as with those lunges where you imagine you're pushing a paint can away from you. You don't flick the leg out real high. You push, you squat, and you close. Squat, push the paint can, squat. Good job. Chest up, chin parallel to floor. Let's do one more. That's it. All right. So now we're going to turn in the other direction and we're going to bottom out on the left side, okay? So take your time getting in this position. Remember that the leg towards the back of the board is going to stay on the red line. The other leg is going to come back into a comfortable forward back rock. You might get your stride a little too far, then edge it into where you're comfortable with this, okay? Grab that tubing band. Remember, our first one was to lean and pull. Now, I think we leaned on the back, which is good because that's a nice stretch on your back calf as well. So you didn't even know it. You were counterbalancing from this position. Can you see how that back calf is getting a little stretch? And the tibialis is forced into a shortened position, the front of the shin. That's part of the counterbalance we're looking for. Good. Reach, wiggle your fingers every once in a while and breathe. You can lean your torso a little. And once again, on this side, you might want to grip the tubing below the handle if you're not feeling enough resistance. Those are the kind of differences that you have to choose based on how you're feeling the moves. Reach and row. Try to keep your head in good alignment with the rest of the spine. Nice, stable neck. Four more. And 3. And 2. And 1. All right, now just hold it with the elbow up high behind you in isometric position. Rock forward and back. Breathe. Grip. Now you can pull that front toe up as you rock back to again accentuate the tibialis work or the shin, front of the lower leg. Good. I like to use the real names of the muscles when possible, and then I tell you what the body part is. I think everybody should know their basic major muscle groups. Not that you have to. You might be able to amaze your friends and relatives. My tibialis anterior is a little weak. Try it. All right, 4 more. 3, 2, 1. All right, now come forward. Take that handle and give me that outside raise towards the back wall. Away from you. Away from you. Lean onto that pole. That's nice. Chest up. Head and neck in good alignment with the rest of the spine. So what would that alignment look like? That would be that alignment right there. That would be that alignment right there. We want to make sure to keep the head, shoulders, and hips on one line. It's a diagonal line, but one long line. Nice. Keep breathing. Inhale and exhale. Whew. Are you feeling it between the shoulder blade? Pull between the shoulders. Lift that rear deltoid or back side of the upper arm. 4 more. Here we go. 4 and 3 and 2. Stand tall, rock and curl. Now here's where we get to do the gobble gobble. It'll be a preview to my Thanksgiving workout. All right, shin back, forward. I know it's not a beautiful look on anybody. Pull, 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 reach, reach. Keep your chest up, pull your chin back, 4 more. 4. Keep your eyes level with the floor. 2. Now hold in the back with the chin retracted. Add that back leg. Lunge down with a rear lean and the chin in. Feel it back in this hip. Back heel is up. Bicep is in an isometric. Neck retractors isometric. Abdominals isometric. Hold tight. Oh yes. 4, 3, 2. Last one. Okay. Let it go. Shake off that arm. Come back to center. All right. Almost to the chair part. Push down. Push down. See my elbow? I'm rocking and I'm kind of imagining that I could collapse the pole and make it shorter by depressing my scapula and my shoulder blade, or scapula is your shoulder blade, downward. Down, down. Good. Warming up that scapula for the next set. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, wiggle fingers, 2, 1. All right, stand tall, balance, squeeze your buns, lift your pelvic floor, zip up your abdominals, take your hand and zip, zip, and around, other side, zip. Now if you're not comfortable letting go, then just do the imaginary zip, but keep your buns, glutes tight. Again, zip, legs are straight, body balance, board balance. Nice, again. Use your breath. Inhale, exhale, zip up, pelvic floor, abdominals, chest and sternum, shoulder blades back and down. 2 more. Yeah, holding steady. Last one. Excellent. All right, step off. Get some water as we go into our final 10. All right. Whew. Hi, Bob. Thanks for joining us today. Okay, so let's come on back to the chair now. If you showed up or you started late, I did request that maybe it would be nice if you have a chair with arms, because I am going to do an exercise that will utilize the chair arms and a pillow. Whew, let's use my towel. I don't know about you. I'm sweating a little. Okay. So I'm moving my board enough forward so that I can sit in my chair. My pillow's behind me for right now, okay? Just roll those shoulders back and down. Get comfortable, and for those of you that don't have your chair yet, I'm just loosening and limbering everybody else while you go get yours. All right. Now you can always put your feet up on the board, which is gonna still keep those hip muscles firing a little more than if they're flat on the floor. It still throws your pelvis off just enough to add a little bit more challenge to the core movement. So we're gonna lean and hold here. Core. Remember we did the lean on the board? And the goal is not to let your body move. You can rock your feet and you can pump your arms, but keep that core strong. All right, to the other side. Tilt-a-wheel, I call this. Keep it long and strong from the neck to the hip. Up, back, up. Breathe. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, back to the center. Now, one of the problems we talked about was tight upper neck and traps and not so strong scapular depressors, or the muscles, the mid-back muscles that pull the shoulders down or back in together. So I want you to put your hands on the arms of your chair. Now on this one, I'm going to invite you to put your feet on the floor so we can focus properly, okay? Although up on the board would make it harder. All I want you to do is push yourself up and pull your shoulders down. So look at my shoulders. I know my elbows are working too, my triceps, but look at my shoulders. Shoulders down, elevator, shoulders up. This movement is called scapular depression. And it uses a lot of the muscles in that mid, back, and torso area that tend to be weak. And so by strengthening the pull down action of the scapula, feel a stretch in the upper neck and back, right? See the opposite action? Tight upper back and neck, stretched upper back and neck. Good. And the bonus is you're also getting some work out of your triceps, the back of your arms. Nice. Take your time on this. Your butt should be kind of coming up off the chair a little bit. That's nice. Again. Now, isn't this something you could do while watching TV if you have a nice solid armchair during the commercials? And it would be a wonderful counterbalance move to do throughout the day. Good. Let's do 2 more of these. Exhale as you push down, lengthen the neck. And 1 more of these. Exhale and release. Now, put this hand under your hip, okay? And then lean your ear to the shoulder and give this the needed stretch and release it deserves. You can let your other arm rest. Now let that chin turn down toward your collarbone and then come back up. Good again. Let it turn down toward your collarbone and come back up. This is really a good neck stretch for some of those neck and deep upper back muscles that give us a lot of pain and strain. Last one. And then back up. Bring the head back to the center. Release a little. Take the other arm and stick it under your hip. That anchors it. Lean to the other side with the ear to shoulder. Nice stretch. Now with the neck, remember, don't stretch to the point of pain. Stretch to the point of relief and release. Let that chin come down towards the collarbone and bring it back up real slow. Again, chin comes down, chin comes back. Chin down and bring it up to center. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, now what I want you to do here is I want you to put 1 foot up onto the board, heel first. All right, now I want you to point, pull. And if you're finding that your brain just doesn't pull back, then here's where, if you still have that towel nearby, you can help yourself a little bit. Sometimes just getting the pattern going helps. So if you need to, you can pull the towel up and help pull up. But don't let the towel do the work. Still make that muscle activate. Think it up, and then use the towel only if you need to. Pull it up, release it forward. Pull it up. And are you feeling a stretch in the calf as you do this? I hope so. 2 more. Now I want you to hold it in the up. I'm going to take my towel off so you can see it. And then I want you to pulse, pulse. Lean in. Pulse, pulse. So it's up in the high range, and it's just really trying to get you to fire, 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 fire. Pull it back, pull it back. Pull it back and take it like a little U shape. U shape, U shape, U shape. In, out. Because that anterior muscle has several compartments or angles to it. And there's a lot of other muscles that get a great workout with this. All right, now from here, stretch that leg out and just pull for the stretch. So lean back, pull the toe back, feel the calf stretch, hold it there. Nice. Now you can even, if you want, use your pole. Look at that. Oh my goodness, that just gave me a great stable stretch for that calf muscle. Sometimes we just, on the fly, figure it out. All right, bring it back down and release, shake it out. Oh boy, that foot felt that. Okay, other leg up. Same thing here. If you need to, because you're having some issues with the toe pullback move, put the towel around it and help it back. But please try to make the muscle do the work rather than your towel. So make this about that shin muscle as you peel your toes back away from the floor, or away from the board. Forward, peel back, forward, peel back. Now, if you do have a towel, make sure it's long enough that it doesn't crumple you forward. We spent so much of today trying to open up that chest, stretching. And as a matter of fact, with that said, if you don't have a towel, we can get an added counterbalance stretch for the chest by keeping your hands either behind you on the arms of your chair, or if you don't have arms on your chair, then behind your back like you're going to hold your hands together. Nice. Now hold it up, lean in, and let's force that pulse. Come on, force it back, force it back. Lean forward so you can concentrate on it. Toe picker uppers. Now give me the U shape. In and out, in and out. That's nice. Now notice I'm resting my body weight on this arm. Why? Because that helps my back not get all tense as I'm leaning like this. That's to help reduce lumbar or lower quadrant stress in that spinal column. Good, keep lifting the toe in the U shape. All right, now sit back, straighten the leg, pull the toe back, and if it works, wedge your foot up against that pole and feel a really deep stretch. I feel a really nice stretch in my calf right now. Hold it there. Nice deep breath. Now, I don't know if you're in the class today, but maybe if not, George, I reached out to you online about your hip, and I know that you discussed that you're going to get hip replacement. You know, I have arthritis in my hip as well, and a bone spur on this side, and so someday I'll probably be joining you in that as well. But when my physician first told me, I was like, what? Arthritis? Me? I kind of forget what age I am sometimes. Come on up again and bring the feet together. So what I did was to try to postpone, not that you're at the point of postponing, but to try to keep my hips natural without having to go into surgery as long as possible. I started doing isometrics for all those muscles that support the femur in the pelvis, okay? Inside, outside, front side, back side. We did a lot of those today. Pillows are great for isometrics. Isometrics, a little bit of movement is okay because it doesn't cause too much joint strain. So if you have that pillow, I want you to just put it between your knees, and I want you to just squeeze in and release. Now make sure you're sitting tall, and if you want to still counterbalance with the arms, keep the arm or the chest stretch. Keep the arms and the elbows behind you and the chin up or parallel to the ground. Here we go. Squeeze, release, squeeze. Now it's only about, it's hard to tell, maybe an inch or two of movement before I hit that hard stop of the isometric squeeze. Squeeze, release. 4 more. 4. Nice and gentle, but you feel the strength in those support muscles of the hip. Now hold it tight. Count with me. 8, hold. 7, hold. 6, hold. 5, hold. 4, hold. 3, hold. 2, hold. 1, relax. Okay, by the end of that hard 8, I call it, you should have been feeling a little volitional fatigue. I hope so. Walk the feet out, ankles and toes. We don't have much more time, so I'm going to go right into our couple final stretches. Push down and bring that thigh out, and push down and bring that thigh out. Stretch those muscles you just worked, the adductors, ADD. And rotate your spine. Now, if you want to, again, give a little bit more stretch for the chest, you can wrap that hand behind you. So instead of the Napoleon in the front, put the Napoleon in the back. And then peel that elbow to the back wall. Hold the lean. Oh, this feels so good to me. I hope it feels good for you too. My final stretch is always my favorite part of any class. Nice deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then unwind your body and position on the other side. Now, remember, if you want to get a little added stretch in the chest, put it behind your back, push out and rotate the spine without rounding. Inhale, exhale, you can kind of lean in as you're exhaling. I like to use 3 to 5 deep breaths in a stretch. I feel like that's just about the right amount of time without spending so much time you can't get to anything else. Inhale, about 20 to 30 seconds. One more. Inhale. Exhale. And then come back to center. Now, hands equally distributed between the thighs. Feet can come in a little bit. We're going to do our rollbacks, which I love because, again, this is probably one of the number one or one of my favorite ways to re-energize the lower back because it adds that flow of movement. You can feel it all the way through the spine, increasing circulation, increasing blood flow, increasing synovial fluid flow. Inhale and exhale. Let's do two more. Let's do one more. All right, now take the arms to the goalpost position. If you could imagine that your arms are back against the wall, keep them pinned to the wall. Keep the back of your head pinned to the wall. And actually on your own, you can do this against a wall. Slide up the wall, try to keep your head, shoulders, and hips against the wall. Good. Again, opening up the shoulder girdle, the chest musculature, the front shoulder musculature. Inhale and exhale. Shoulders up, shoulders down. Depress them, elevate them. One more. Now bring those hands behind your head, interlace your fingers, pull your chin in. McKinsey stretch here, pull it in. Let the chin come forward. Pull the chin in as the head is held in place with your hands. Let the chin come forward. Pull the chin in. Let it come forward. One more. Pull it in, hold it here. Open up, wings, elbows to the back. Inhale up. Exhale down. Release and shake. And give yourself a big hand. Thank you for sticking around for Muscle Matters 2.0. And there were a lot of exercises that I've saved for the next time we meet. And we will continue to work on those counterbalance exercises. We will continue to work on those stabilizing and moving exercises. And if you stick with me, I'll stick with you. So come on back next Wednesday. And if you have friends, please recommend that they get themselves a 60-up board and join you before the New Year's. Why wait for a New Year's resolution? All right, guys, let's see who's checked in. Hey, Bob, thanks for being here. Betsy, as always. Craig, as always. Pat. Oh, my gosh. Good to see you, too, Mona. Ken, awesome. Didn't see you here earlier. Nice to have you in class. Joe, I'm glad you thought it was good. I hope you all liked it. Vicky, oh, one of our regulars. Ginny, Laughing House, great name. I know Dan mentioned it yesterday, and it is. David, Debbie was here too, yay. And hey guys, don't forget that Debbie is teaching a lot on the site. She's not only doing 60 up on the board, but some of her own body dynamic workouts, which are a wonderful complement. You don't have to do the board every day. You can. And there are even points during the day where if it's sitting around and you're not using it as a clothes hanger, hopefully you're not, you can just jump on and just rock, do nothing else. Maybe rock for 5 minutes here and there. But another great thing is that Debbie is adding some other types of workouts to the formatting that we do on the 60 up. And you can catch her Mondays, Fridays, I think Saturdays. I'm not sure. But check in and know that she's here to support you as well. And of course, there's always the dynamic Dan. Can't beat that guy. He is so good. So thank you again for joining me, Kathy Stevens. Catch me on YouTube if you missed this, and don't forget, muscles matter. And happy Veterans Day, Dad, and the rest of you guys out there. Bye-bye.